confines of the Hound Pound. Hello everyone and welcome inside the Alaska Gymnasium. I'm Kevin Shea and joining me alongside our Channel 3 hoop analyst Ernie Floyd. And Ernie, this matchup tonight is really a tale of two cities. It's a big game for both teams, but for far different reasons. For Assumption, they need to win this game to remain at the top of the NE10 and continue to battle in the league's elite.
Yeah, especially the fact that this is a conference game. Assumption definitely has to come out tonight, show their stuff, and just think about it. Assumption was not winning a couple of years ago. Now they're getting a little taste of it. They don't want to lose it.
And then conversely, for Quinnipiac, they won the first game of the season. Since then, they've lost 17 in a row. Right now, they're just trying to stop the bleeding.
That's true, too. And Assumption basically wants to keep the bleeding going. And especially the fact, once again, Assumption was on that losing end a few years back ago. They want to keep it going, especially this is a conference game. And there's only a tale between Stonehill and Assumption is this conference game. So Assumption definitely needs this game.
And for the Assumption Greyhounds, they lost a tough game over the weekend to Lemoyne. They've got to bounce back tonight, but one bright spot in that game against Lemoyne, the play of freshman Casey Carney. He poured in 33 points off the bench. He earned NE10 Freshman of the Week honors for his effort. And what kind of a confidence does that give a team to know that you've got that kind of a scoring threat on the bench?
Well, that shows right there that Assumption can go to the bench, and they need that extra support to contend this year for the NE10. It's good to know that, so that in case they need an ace in the hole, they can always go to him.
Okay, it's going to be a big matchup. It's Assumption and Quinnipiac, and we'll be back with the tip-off right after this.
It's 6:15. He knows the financial section is outside. It's 7 o'clock. He knows the financial section is outside. It's 7:30. He knows the financial section is outside. He doesn't worry about every bump in the market. He's a Legg Mason investor. If your goal is long-term gain with minimum risk, talk to us.
We recognize that it's the little things that make owning a Ford or Mercury a pleasant experience. That's why our factory-trained technicians are dedicated to performing complete service on your Ford or Mercury car or truck using the best computerized diagnostic tools. Excellence in automotive service. That's what you get at Millbury Ford Mercury.
We've got a reason to celebrate. Millbury Ford Mercury.
Welcome to Elwood Adams Ace Hardware, the oldest hardware store in the country. At Elwood Adams, you'll find top quality paints from Ace. Ace manufactures their own paint to the highest standards to ensure customer satisfaction. For your home or business, Ace custom color wall paints are available for both interior and exterior projects. You'll find a wide selection of Ace floor enamel, Ace stains and sealers, and high-gloss latex enamels, all at incredible bargains. So for Ace quality paints, shop with the pros at Elwood Adams Ace Hardware, where customers come first.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Alaska Gymnasium, or as it is affectionately known as by the students around campus, the Hound Pound. You're taking a look at Serge DeBarry patrolling the sidelines for Assumption, and he is the architect of the turnaround in Assumption basketball that you've seen going on here the past few years. Taking a look at the starting lineups. Steve St. Martin, Andy Niedzwiecki, Kurt Hold, Brian Moore, and Drew Cooper for Assumption, and we will now catch the national anthem. Okay, well, the anthem has been sung. The crowd is in their seats, and they are ready to go. The Quinnipiac Braves are ready to go, and let's take a look at their starting lineup. Joe Tremarchi at the guard. He's a senior. He runs the show. He is one of the leaders on the team in terms of scoring, in terms of rebounding. He really does it all. And at the other guard, you're looking at Rashid McCormick. And Ryan Brown, there we have Ryan is the senior center for the Braves. So a lot of youth as well as a blend of elder statesmen on this team. Miles Anderson, the leading scorer for the Braves at forward, and McKenzie rounding out the starting five. Andrew McKenzie is a very good player for Quinnipiac as he does a lot on the boards for this team as well as in the scoring column. The opening tip, won by the Hounds, and Andy Niedzwiecki will bring it up. Niedzwiecki to Drew Cooper. He is a 1,000-point scorer, the junior from Kentucky. They swing it around to Steve St. Martin. First shot in and out, rebound, hold, and a putback.
Nice job by Kurt Hole establishing things early. This is exactly what he did in the last broadcast, getting the big man involved in the offense early.
And the Hounds turning up the pressure on defense. Quinnipiac now gets it over the timeline. They will adjust a bit.
St. Martin getting in there, reflecting the pass, getting it out of bounds. Seems as though Quinnipiac is getting out a little slow, a little sluggish in the early going.
Nice up and under move right there for two by Miles Anderson. He gets his first two of the game, and we are all knotted up at two.
Of course, Miles Anderson brings the muscle down low for this Quinnipiac team with his big frame. He's about 6'6", 225 out of Hampton, Connecticut.
And now we're going to have a turnover against Assumption, so Quinnipiac will have their first opportunity to stake themselves to a lead here. And as we mentioned in the opening, Ernie, the Braves have got to feel a little bit snake-bitten. They have yet to win a league contest.
Well, if they're going to get one, they've got to try to get one tonight in order to stand in here. That's what's great about the league play.
Rashid McCormick for three, in and out, rebound by Brian Moore. Moore leads the Hounds in rebounding. He is second in the NE10 in that category. Here goes Drew Cooper. Cooper throws it. It is not tipped. It is out of bounds, and that's the second turnover for Assumption. Kind of a lack of communication. Serge DeBarry over there, 12-6 currently their record. That's 7-3 in the NE10. Serge DeBarry, an alumnus of Assumption, was an outstanding player here. He scored over 1,400 points in his career. When he left, was the leading scorer for the Hounds in Assumption history. Since then, some players have passed him. He is currently 10th all-time on the Assumption scoring list. Baseline jumper is good by McKenzie. And Quinnipiac grabs their first lead of the night, 4-2.
McKenzie looking real good on that shot, especially the fact taking advantage of Assumption. The last time out, Assumption has been turning the ball over early. Little sluggish move right there as St. Martin got called for the travel and slipped underneath himself at the free throw line. And now we're going to do some wholesale changing right here as Assumption starts to insert some new players. As you can see.
And now Quinnipiac will try to move it up court. Tremarchi. Tremarchi at 6'2" has the height for a guard. As a shooting guard, he will be looking over many of his competitors. McKenzie now working it up. Tremarchi kicking it out. Now Quinnipiac working it around the arc. Three ball, Tremarchi gets the roll. Joe Tremarchi gets his first points of the game. It's a three-pointer. And Quinnipiac jumps out to a 5-point lead. Casey Carney's first shot is off the mark. Carney looking to come in and provide the offensive spark he did over the weekend against Lemoyne, where he poured in a career-high 33. Good entrance pass, and Ryan Brown is going to be fouled. He will go to the line and shoot.
Take a peek at it here. Quinnipiac being very patient on offense, finally getting the ball inside to the big people. Of course, Assumption comes over and collapses on defense, and they create a foul situation.
Non-shooting foul, so the Braves just take it out of bounds. Carney picking up his first foul, and we're going to have a foul on Niedzwiecki And Andrew McKenzie with the hoop and the harm, and he will have a shot at a three-point play.
Good strong move by Andrew McKenzie, junior guard, 6'3", out of Queensbury, New York. Tough shot on the baseline. Was able to knock it down.
Let's take a look here at Andy Nitzwicki getting a little over-anxious on the defensive end.
Yeah, he played him on the high side, which allowed Quinnipiac to get to the baseline. He created the sin right there. What happened was they took advantage of it, and Andrew McKenzie made him pay.
Joe DeSantis right now is going to be happy, the second-year coach of Quinnipiac, looking at a 9-2 lead. His team, again, yet to win a ball game in the conference, but they have jumped out to an early 7-point advantage over the third-place team in the conference. And you say third place, and that's really loosely interpreted because the Hounds at 7-3 have the same number of losses as the first-place team, Stonehill, who is 10-3. So just by virtue of Stonehill playing more games, they are a few percentage points ahead of Assumption in the standings.
Well, if you want to give them something to be proud of, Quinnipiac is one of only 4 NCAA institutions in the country beginning with the letter Q.
You know, you want to be outstanding in some field. Doesn't really matter which, as long as you are in one. And Quinnipiac, of course, is going Division 1. Drew Cooper gets his first 2 of the game, but Quinnipiac is going Division 1 next fall, and so the entire athletic program will be upgraded. Tremarchi is going to get called for the charging foul. Joe Tremarchi barreling in, and Assumption drawing the charge.
Good job by Kurt Holt. Established himself standing there, taking the punishment. He stands straight up, and he got all of that. Good call.
Give Holt a free lunch for that one. Ryan Moore wings it out. Moore's the second leading scorer for Assumption. He now creates the 4th turnover of the game for the Hounds. McKenzie.
Nice stop pass down low.
Oh, there's a lid on the hoop for Brown. But there isn't one for Tremarchi. He gets his second 3 of the ball game, and Quinnipiac leads it 13-4. DeSantis imploring his team to get back on defense, and now we're going to have a traveling violation, the 5th turnover by Assumption very early on in this contest. We were about 4 minutes old. And we are going to have a timeout on the floor. I believe Serge DeBarry calling for his second timeout. 13-4 right now. Quinnipiac in front. You are watching Assumption basketball on WGMC TV3. DeBarry and his staff talking things over. Very animated in the huddle there as he is trying to really, Ernie Floyd, I think, light a fire under his troops right now.
Yeah, they're being very sluggish. And at the same time, Coach DeBarry has to bring this troop in, try to figure out how to keep everybody on the same page. Right now, they're a little sluggish. They're a little bit behind. They're on their heels. And Serge needed to take this time out. Quinnipiac is starting to feel it right now. They haven't won a game. They're really hungry. This is a conference game. And at the same time, Assumption is at home right now, and they should be taking advantage of a team that hasn't won a game in about 17 tries out.
Quick look at the series history. It's the 36th meeting between the Braves and the Greyhounds, and Assumption leads it 20-15. But that, of course, in jeopardy here in the opening minutes as Quinnipiac, spurred on by a 10-0 run, is enjoying a 13-4 advantage in the game here. And a quick note earlier, if you missed the game earlier, what a thriller. The Assumption women's team beating Quinnipiac in overtime, 66-60. Quite a game, and that one had the crowd on its feet for about the entire second half, and certainly the overtime period. It was back and forth, and the Hounds pulling it out in dramatic fashion. And now we're going to have a foul on hold. Check that. Check that. We're going to have a turnover as Quinnipiac was stepping on the line. So good defense by Kurt Holt, causing the turnover, and Assumption will now take over. Andy Nitzwicki running the point from nearby Sutton, Massachusetts. A graduate of Worcester Academy, as well as Sutton High. He just went to prep at Worcester Academy. Drew Cooper for 3, won't go. Holt battling for the rebound, and it's going to be off McKenzie. Assumption basketball.
Yeah, Rashad McCormick, the freshman 5'9" from Williamstown, New Jersey, number 3 for Quinnipiac, rushed over there. He's pretty much commanding the top spot up there in the three-point perimeter.
Casey Carney still in the game. Carney pulls up for 3. Back rim, no good. Rebound by McKenzie. Gives off to McCormick, and McCormick will now bring it up.
Quinnipiac in a good situation right now. should take their time, see if they can get something inside. Right now, Assumption's a little bit slow on the offensive side. They should try to take advantage of him on the defensive side.
McCormick for 2, he nails it. Rashad McCormick picking up his first 2 of the game. It's got to be the socks. He's got
I like
the Michael
socks.
Cooper look.
Old school.
Casey Carney swooping in for 2. His first field goal of the game, and it is now 15-6. And a turnover by Quinnipiac. Assumption will look to cut into that lead. The Hounds trail by 9. McKenzie checking out. Mike Wall replacing him, and Wall has that high sock look as well. You've seen it work for McCormick, and he wants to try it out.
Yeah, actually that used to work for me too when I was in high school, way back when. I don't sport them anymore.
Back in the dark ages.
You didn't have to unveil that.
Now Drew Cooper has it up top. Cooper getting a pick from Hold, gives off to Niedzwiecki. Niedzwiecki's 3 attempt is off the mark. Brian Moore battling for the rebound. He's going to be called for an over-the-back foul.
Well, you have to credit Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac pretty much has Assumption in check. Assumption is reluctant or likes to shoot from the outside, and that's where the problem is. And Quinnipiac is doing a great job on defense by forcing Assumption to shoot on the outside, especially the fact Assumption is very cold.
Oh, Casey Carney just got rejected in the lane. I believe it was Ryan Brown with the ups. Niedzwiecki.
Nice block, especially the fact it looked like a short 2.
Cooper using the left hand adroitly in the face of danger, and he pours in 2. Steal by Carney. Carney. Whoa! Carney missed it. Now to cut the deficit to 5. That's a tough one, Ernie.
Definitely. That's incredible. That's pretty much indicative of what Assumption's been doing. That's a bad sign, a very bad sign. They haven't been able to hit it on the outside, and he had a layup practically all by himself, and he missed that one. Something is definitely wrong in the early going for Assumption, which forces them to go man-to-man to try to pick up the pressure, because sitting back in that zone was not helping them.
Wall's shot is blocked and picked up by Moore. He throws the home run ball intended for Petkis, and it is picked off by Tremarchi, and we come the other way.
As soon as it looks like a bright spot for Assumption, for some reason, Quinnipiac always seems to come in to make the room dark.
McCormick with it now. He is checked by Niedzwiecki. Goes inside, and it is going to be
Fouled by
knocked out of
Cooper.
bounds, and a foul, I believe. Ryan Brown was going up.
Yeah, that was a lazy man's defense. Right now, Assumption is very frustrated. Serge DeBarry's going to come in with some substitutions, try to figure out the right chemistry. Nice penetration by McCormick, getting into the lane, able to dish it off to Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown's going to try to go to the line and earn 2. He's out of Watertown, Connecticut.
Now we have some changes for Assumption as well as Quinnipiac. Josh Zielke coming in, the sophomore forward, 6'4", 180 for Assumption, along with number 14, Brad Mancini. Mancini, a graduate of nearby St. Peter Marian High School, where he played both basketball and baseball. Mancini comes into the game right now averaging a little over 4.5 points a game. Zielke gives off to Mancini. Mancini now to Cooper. Cooper will log the bulk of the minutes for the Greyhounds along with Niedzwiecki. They are the Iron Men of this team.
Quinnipiac doing a great job ramming down in the paint area, not allowing Assumption to get any inside game, resulting
Cooper's
to that.
shot is off the mark. Zielke is going to get fouled. Looking for the three-point play. It was just short, and I believe the foul will go on number 52.
Quinnipiac doing a great job on defense, forcing the Assumption to shoot from the outside. That time they were lucky because they got the high rebound, nice up fake, sacrificed his body, going to the basket. Now he's going to shoot 2 at the line. Assumption's very cold, Kevin. I don't know what's going on with them. I would figure that you got a team that's in here that hasn't won a game in, 17 tries, and you see Serge DeBarry trying to figure out the chemistry. And Assumption's been on the other side of not losing, losing games. They know that feeling. You would figure they would want to do something about it.
Zielke missing the second. He's a 78% free throw shooter who was tipped off of Quinnipiac and will remain Assumption basketball. So our score, 17-8 Quinnipiac, first half, 12:30 remaining in the game, or in the half rather. Zielke for Mancini. Mancini pump fakes, pulls up from the elbow, and nothing but net. Brad Mancini gets his first 2 points of the game.
Brad Mancini, freshman out of Paxton, Mass, went to St. Peter Marion. Very nice shot. Once again, Coach Serge DeBerry going deeper into the bench.
Cooper going for the steal, no good. Tremarchi gets it stuck. Tremarchi firing it up, and it just wedged between the rim and the backboard, so Assumption will take over possession with a chance to cut the lead to 5.
Nice shot by Tremarchi. The senior guard out of Schenectady, New York, wedges the ball up there. Actually, he was honored prior to Saturday's game against Merrimack for their performance, becoming the 26th player in school history to reach 1,000 career points. So we want to send a congratulations out to Joe Tremarchi.
And a heads-up job by Joe DeSantis and his coaching staff. They realized on that situation where the ball is wedged between the rim and the backboard, it is similar to a jump ball situation. And you look at which way the arrow was pointing, and that team should get possession. The arrow was in favor of Quinnipiac. Assumption was ready to pick up the ball and go with it. But DeSantis and crew, with a very strong knowledge of the rule book, said, au contraire, let's check it out. And they do now take over possession. Check out that, Steve St. Martin diving for the loose ball. He goes hurtling into the Gatorade bucket. St. Martin is just all hustle.
He's definitely all hustle. Matter of fact, look at this. He's making it no job security over there for the guy holding up the Gatorade and also cleaning up the trash over there.
And now they're fixing that Gatorade bucket. So certainly Steve St. Martin, the heart and soul of this team, hustle-wise. He's at Drew Cooper on the back of Ryan Brown, and Brown's going to pick up his second foul as this one almost deteriorated into WWF wrestling.
Yeah,
Cooper went up and one arm was trapped.
We had Nitro Assumption Hound Pound style. As you see the two big men up there battling for the basketball. Good job right there by Ryan Brown for holding on to Drew Cooper, making sure he doesn't get hurt.
Cooper with the pull-up, won't go. Rebound Quinnipiac, and the Braves will run. Leading by 7, 17-10. They throw it around the arc. Brown gives now for Tremarchi. And they swing it to McKenzie. And they continue to swing it around the horn. Wall guarded by Mancini. Shakes free. Baseline jumper by McKenzie is good. And Andrew McKenzie has 7 points to lead the Braves right now as they are up 19-10. Entry pass by Zielke is picked off. It was ill-advised. Wall bringing it up now. Goes cross court. Brown, no good. Mancini picks up the board and he'll push it up court. Quinnipiac back on D. We'll see a half-court offense. Zielke to Mancini. Right now, Quinnipiac doing a very good job of getting up on the ball no matter where they are, even if they are outside. And that's what you have to do with Assumption because they can knock down the threes. Timeout called for by Quinnipiac as the Hounds turning up the pressure in the corner, had the player trapped, and a 20-second timeout call by Quinnipiac to avoid the violation.
Yeah, Quinnipiac was experiencing a lot of pressure down there on the baseline. As you see, Assumption just converges over there to put on that trap defense against Joe Tremarchi, and Tremarchi was just trapped. As you see DeSantis on the top there trying to call timeout, giving the T position. Referee finally acknowledges it and says, okay, you finally got it, even though you came out in the court when you wasn't supposed to.
Little Dick Vitale look-alike in some ways right there. Yeah, and the animation as well to go along with it.
Yeah, I was waiting for to hear the baby.
He's calling for a T.O., baby, T.O.
Hey, you did that pretty good.
The inbounds pass is tipped, and we're going to have a holding foul. I believe it will go against Mancini.
It seems as though Assumption still hasn't got out the gates yet, haven't warmed things up. They show some bright spots on the outside, but mainly right now, Quinnipiac, you have to credit them for a team that's been defeated 17 times around, even though they just created a violation. They've been doing a good job on clamping the D down on Assumption. Assumption has not found the key to open up the door for some points down there.
Sixth turnover for the Braves, and Assumption has really started to turn the heat up. After Quinnipiac went on that 10-0 run, DeBerry called for the quick timeout, and I think he implored his group at that time, we're going to turn it up. It's our backyard. Let's defend our turf, and they have started to do just that. Brian Moore's shot won't go. So like you said, Ernie, this is a very cold shooting outing for the Hounds, who are normally a very high-scoring team. They're actually the highest-scoring team in the NE10.
Well, you would never know it on the way that they come out and perform tonight. It just seems as though they're just dragging, like they're kind of tired. Here's McCormick trying to come into the middle, try to penetrate. He gets called for the travel on the pass-off.
Seventh turnover for Quinnipiac. Assumption has equaled them with 7 of their own. Mancini's floater. Oh, he's living a good life. He gets the roll. Brad Mancini has come off the bench. He's got 4 points.
Doing a great job by Brad Mancini, able to come in and do those type of things as Adam Petkus goes out. And at the same time, Brad Mancini is still in there, doing a great job getting his confidence up.
Certainly is. The freshman has 1/3 of the scoring right now for Assumption, and that was almost a carry right there. The fans wanted McKenzie precariously close to turning the ball over again for Quinnipiac. Wall right now being hounded, and he gives off wisely.
Quinnipiac really not into their offensive set. Seems as though it's a little bit confusing. It's ugly, but who knows?
Wall's shot is off the mark. Rebound by St. Martin. They quickly push it up. Carney now to Mancini. And if you look, Quinnipiac is not allowing that 3-point shot. Steve St. Martin pull up in the lane. St. Martin gets his first 2 of the game. He is averaging 7 points on the year. But he does everything, Ernie, to make this club so much better. And that's diving for the loose balls, taking the charges, and really running the floor.
He's definitely established the tempo. As you see the turnover right there by Quinnipiac, by Joe Tamarki, stepped out of bounds. But as you mentioned about Steve St. Martin, he was able to find the seams of that zone. He's starting to penetrate that because that was his second shot in that same spot. So they may have found a light spot in that zone.
Casey Carney's 3 is a front rim job, so it is off the mark, and the Braves are running, and they have got numbers. And McKenzie goes up, and we're going to have a blocking foul on Carney, his second of the ball game. McKenzie will shoot 2.
Carney, the freshman guard out of Seekonk, Mass, went to Bishop Fee, tried to get back on defense, wasn't there in time for Andrew McKenzie. Andrew McKenzie went strong, attacked the basket, and that's what you do when you're in those open court situations.
So far, with a relatively poor shooting outing for Assumption, that has meant a lot of chances for rebounds as McKenzie misses the first. Assumption leading in the rebounding category 10-8. Field goal percentage going something like this. Quinnipiac shooting at 7 of 14 for 50%, and Assumption 7 of 18. And certainly they would like to see that turned around. McKenzie hits 1 of 2 free throws. And Quinnipiac leads it 20-14 with 8:45 remaining in the first half.
That's a good look at the first full court, pretty much tempered press that Quinnipiac threw out. Now they go man-to-man. They've been shifting up on the defenses, and Assumption's been taking a lot of time off the clock trying to adjust.
St. Martin with the ball out beyond the arc. Mancini taking it inside, won't go. Hold had a shot at the rebound. He hits the floor hard for it. We're going to have a jump ball.
You have to admire this Assumption team, though. Even though they've been coming out kind of flat in the early going, they are not afraid to get on the floor. I can tell you that. St. Martin, of course, he probably started the ritual here. As you see the Kurt Hold, the big man for Assumption, he's willing to sacrifice his body in order to get that basketball.
And that is impressive when you see the 6'8" mopping up the floor. And there's not a player on this team that hesitates to dive for a loose ball, I can tell you that. Mancini for 3, won't go. Rebound by Quinnipiac.
Assumption still looking for that outside jumper, try to be consistent with it. Great defense
Steal by
Steve.
St. Martin. He gives off to Mancini. Mancini to the hoop for 2. And Brad Mancini, the beneficiary of some terrific defense and just flat-out hustle by Steve St. Martin. And Joe DeSantis and Quinnipiac want and get a timeout.
But that's exactly what Assumption needed. They needed that extra spark for that dose. They get them back into this ball game, and Steve St. Martin unbelievably hung in there. He stuck with it. Now check this out. He's in there. He gets a swipe at it, gets a little control, dives for it, which Assumption is known for. They're not afraid to get on the floor, and all of a sudden he gives off the assist to Mancini. Good job by Mancini by looking heads up, coming over for the rotation, going strong to the basket and getting the two, which forces Quinnipiac to call a timeout. They do not want to wake up Assumption right now.
Steve St. Martin has led the Northeast 10 in steals the past 2 years, and you got a short glimpse of why he has done that. He is lethal. And right now, Assumption is on a 12-5 run that started at the 15-minute mark. They trail by 4, and we could have a turnover. Hold, getting to the floor. Quinnipiac retains possession. This is Anderson. Anderson for Wall. Shamarkey now is going to try to set a play up.
Oh, they turned up the heat now on defense. Assumption, look at them. They are definitely right in their pocket. Mike Wall's having a tough time out on the perimeter.
Under 10 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Wall for 3, buries it. And that is a heartbreaker.
That's a momentum buster.
Assumption really turning up the heat there, forcing, in some senses, what you would call a bad shot, and Wall just stuck it.
Well, this coach feels as though that Mike Wall has Division I game experience as well as impressive combination with perimeter play. He definitely demonstrated that because Assumption turned up the heat on defense, but Mike Wall was comfortable and calmly knocked down a 3.
St. Martin now for Assumption. Mancini logging a lot of minutes here in the first half. Gives way for Cooper for 3. Drew's shot is in and out.
Nice
Rebound
job
by Holt. And the big fella is clearing some space out underneath for himself, and that's a big putback.
Yeah, he was underneath there all by himself, and that's how Assumption has to get back into the game, by creating 2 and 3 and 4 opportunities at the basket.
McKenzie's shot is off. Rebound by Assumption.
Nice
Moore
thread.
goes right inside to Hold. Now there's a battle for the ball, and Cooper gets it off. He's going to be fouled in the act of shooting. He will go up for 2, and we have a player down for Quinnipiac. I believe it is Miles Anderson.
Well, Assumption tried to do their rendition of a fast break, and they got the ball inside. Kurt loses control, and what happens is, by losing control, Miles Anderson got in and got his hand on it, and he ends up being the recipient of getting hurt by falling on the floor, and it was a foul on the play. There he is right there.
Limping over the bench, but he leaves under his own power. Always a good sight.
Anderson brings muscle to this team, and he'll be sorely missed if he has to sit out for a while. Plays in a strong forward position. Rebounds well. Right now, I believe Drew Cooper's at the line, junior. You know his story, out of Louisville, Kentucky. Went to St. Xavier. He's a management major here at Assumption.
Cooper breaks an 0 for 3 streak at the line by Assumption. He hits 1 of 2, and Drew Cooper will be our halftime guest. A little conversation with Coop, and you won't want to miss that. A very interesting story, and we'll get into the whole thing with him at halftime. And a charge taken by Kurt Hold, and look at Steve St. Martin doing a little Sugar Ray Leonard number on Hold's shoulder as he was fired up. Hold taking his second charge of the afternoon. He wants a free dinner to go along with that lunch.
Yeah, you got to get sparked because of the fact that the big man is taking the charge, and right there, Mike Wall for Quinnipiac was out of control, and that's what one of the problems with where the breakdown Quinnipiac has in the perimeter offense.
Brian Moore's first shot of the game is no good. Rebound by Hold, and Kurt Hold using the bank after dark. He's got 6 points right now for Assumption, and their lead at Quinnipiac is now 2, and the last time this game was that close was when Quinnipiac led it 4-2.
Now Assumption is starting to feel it. They're starting to warm up. It seems as though Coach Serge DeBarry is starting to get the right combination. He went to the bench early and tried to stir some things up. And that's exactly what's taking place right now. And Quinnipiac finds themselves trying to defend their lead.
Assumption can tie this game up. Hold going up, and he was fouled. We'll have to see if it was before the shot.
That was fouled by Jason Rosado. He's a freshman out of Rochester, New York. 6'10", 250. Number 52 right there. Lost a little hole, but Kurt Hold says that's okay. Nice up fake by the big person. Was able to get the shot off and create a foul situation.
Rosada is a big, big boy, too. Right now, that is a non-shooting foul. So Assumption will take the ball out, and they can tie the game up right now. And the last time we were tied was at 2-all. Carney, then it's Wiki.
Assumption is conscious right now, trying to go inside, but as you can see, Quinnipiac is throwing out the zone defense, trying to force Assumption to shoot from the outside.
And they do that, and Drew Cooper nails the three, and the Hounds have their first lead of the ball game since the very first minute of the ball game when they led it 2-0. 24-23 Assumption, 5:22 remaining in the half, and now there's another turnover. Cooper pushing ahead for Moore. He doesn't even put it on the floor, he hits it. Brian Moore getting on the scoreboard, and just like that, the Hounds lead by 3.
Nice lob pass as Assumption comes up. Now they go full court press, trying to shake up Quinnipiac. Andrew McKenzie, number 33 for Quinnipiac, is having some trouble up around the perimeter, and also his teammate, Rashad McCormick, is having some trouble running the offense for Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac had an 11-point lead at 15-12 at the half. Currently Assumption on a 16-4 run and enjoying a 3-point advantage.
Well, they just had the ball down to number 34, Miles Anderson for Quinnipiac, and Assumption just pounced on him on defense. Down in the paint area, they're cramming the area, and Quinnipiac is trying to make the adjustments. All of a sudden, they had a big lead, and it's gone.
Assumption leads at 26-23. We'll be back with more from the Hound Pound right after this.
Lifestyle is Rotman's, where you're surrounded by fantastic style. Express yourself with bold sophistication, pure simplicity, geared for success, timeless elegance. Indulge yourself, you've earned it. Now it's your time for comfort and style at fantastic prices unmatched anywhere in the Northeast. Rotman's, 200,000 square feet of styles for life.
We're back to the Alaska Gymnasium, and you can look at Serge DeBarry, the head coach for Assumption, really giving it to his players. He wants to keep them pumped up, and he wants to keep this defensive intensity going. Check out the steal.
Right there, Quinnipiac got a little bit lax with the basketball. That was Chris Stone. He loses the control. Cooper gets the ball, heads up play. As you see, a streaking Brian Moore leading to the basket, able to knock it down. And credit Drew Cooper for being heads up with that play. Nice lob over the outstretched hand of, I believe, Bob McNeish.
And just a reminder, we will have a conversation with Assumption forward and Louisville, Kentucky native Drew Cooper at halftime, as well as all your first half stats and highlights. And Coop's got some good things to say and some interesting stories about the trip to Hawaii. Quinnipiac goes right inside, and Chris Stone picks up his first 2 of the game, and it is back to a 1-point Assumption lead with 4:35 remaining in the half.
Coach DeSantis does not want to wake up this Assumption team. He had them pretty quiet in the first half. There was a miss right there.
Casey Carney has been relatively cold here in the first half. We mentioned the 33 points over the weekend. He only has 2 here in the first half, and he has jacked up plenty of shots.
Right now, Quinnipiac want to get into that triangle offense. Down to the stack situation where they set up a pick for the big man so they can do the dump down in the low post.
Anderson going up for 2, so Quinnipiac finding their legs now. Assumption was on a 22-8 run, but the Braves have scored the last 4 points, and they have recaptured the lead, 27-26.
That was a nice execution play by Quinnipiac, getting down low by Joe Tremarchi. And he
Brian
comes up with the
Moore
rebound.
going up in the lane. No good. Moore was looking for a foul, didn't get one. The Braves look to extend their lead.
Quinnipiac demonstrating some good patience right now. And as you notice, they're extending the defense against Assumption, so there's a lot of holes down there that they can penetrate and try to get into the seams of that zone pressure.
McKenzie for 3, no good, and we're going to get a foul on Andy Niedzwicki well after the shot.
Yeah, not a smart foul, especially the fact that, whereas that may give Andrew McKenzie an opportunity for 3, and what that does also is stop the clock, and that's a situation which plays the Quinnipiac side, because they have an opportunity to either tie the game in or go ahead.
McKenzie will be at the line, shooting 1-1, so the foul was ruled well after the shot. McKenzie knocks down the first. He has 9 points early on here in the first half.
This is the guy who worked very hard in the offseason, and he's looking to improve his perimeter game. He's a junior guard out of Queensboro, New York.
We'd like to see him beef up his frame a little bit. He's 6'3", goes 195 pounds, but certainly as you see the games here, there's a lot of banging going on, and it can only help if he had another 5-10 pounds of muscle on it. You certainly remember that from your playing days. Yeah, this is a contact sport.
Definitely. I got the weight now, though.
Just in all the wrong places. Drew Cooper with a reach-in foul, and Cooper's mad at himself. That was not one he wanted to take.
Yeah, Assumption seems as though they have a tendency to let the shots go kind of quickly. In this situation right here, as you see on the replay, the shot goes high rebound, and out there in the situation where there's a little breakdown on defense. And what happens is when you break down on defense, you have a tendency, of course, you get tired and you stop the reach. And that's the particular time is what happens.
Miles Anderson misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Hold grabs the board, and Assumption will run. Carney to Mancini. Mancini to Niedzwicki. Say that 3 times fast. Now Cooper to Carney. Carney for 3. Casey Carney, his first 3 of the ball game, and that's his game, getting out on the perimeter and hitting the long ball. McKenzie trying to come back and even it up. Can't get the bucket. Carney to Cooper. Cooper streaking towards the hoop. Kicks it inside to Hold. Hold gets the roll in the lane. And Kurt Hold has 8 points. And Assumption has a 2-point lead, 31-29 with 2:25 remaining in the first half.
Right now they're starting to roll them up against Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac trying to push the ball out. Now McCormick's having some trouble. Assumption's trying to pick up the defense.
McKenzie's shot won't go. Anderson looking to get the tip, won't go. Mancini with the rebound. He'll push it up. The Braves back on defense. And Niedzwicki's pass from Mancini went behind him. Hold alertly there, grabs it.
Yeah, Mancini actually had a shot there, but he turned his way from the basket in order to try to set up a pick situation on the other side.
Niedzwicki's shot is off from the Braves. Push it up court. McCormick to Anderson. Anderson, nice move for 2. Anderson using the pivot well. And we are all tied at 31 with under 2 minutes to play in the half.
Anderson doing a great job. Miles Anderson, the senior out of Hampton, Connecticut, posted really well under post position, took advantage of his size and got the ball up.
And we are going to have a timeout. Check that, just a substitution timeout as the Assumption turns it over. Niedzwicki will step out and St. Martin will step in. 8 turnovers already in the first half for the Assumption Greyhounds. Tie ball game at 31 all. Shamarky taking it up, hits McCormick. McCormick pulls up, in and out. Rebound Miles Anderson. Anderson stripped of the ball by St. Martin. St. Martin's running 1-on-3. He'll pull it up, and wisely so, and wait for his numbers.
Great job.
Casey Carney for 3, won't go. And St. Martin diving into the crowd after that loose ball, but he had stepped out of bounds, so it will be Quinnipiac basketball.
Well, he's doing something that's very common here at Assumption. As you see him extending himself into the audience right there. Almost got a chance to go over and shake Bill May's hand, our cameraman.
And we are going to have a timeout on the floor with 1:08 remaining in the half. We are tied at 31 all.
To stop drug use, I think it's going to take more than a Just Say No campaign. It's so easy to tell somebody just say no, but you've got to give them the power to say no. You have to decide whether to compromise yourself or not. You have to decide whether you're going to help people or whether you're going to hurt people. You have to decide, what's important to you. Where are your priorities? I'm no stronger than the next guy. I've got to be able to make wise decisions in my own life and know that that's what I want to do.
We're back to the Alaska Gymnasium. You can see Joe DeSantis talking to his Quinnipiac team, and he's got to be happy with their first half performance so far. We have 1:08 remaining in the half, and we are all knotted up at 31 all. Let us take a second look at that Miles Anderson bucket. McCormick pushes to Anderson. Anderson, nice job of using his body initially to shield off the defender and then going strong to the hoop. And that's what you want as a coach. Don't fade away. Go up strong. He does just that. He gets the 2. We're knotted at 31. And right now, Quinnipiac, rather, is in the midst of an upset. They're
Quinnipiac
looking for their first league win of the year.
Thank you.
Quinnipiac will take it up court now. Tremarky looking for help, gets some. Now he gets it back. Tremarky at 6'2" is used often to break the press because he can throw over the guards that are usually defending him, but not Brian Moore. He's 6'5". Hold on Anderson. Anderson poking back in, and he shot is no good. Here comes Assumption. St. Martin going to the hole. St. Martin's shot is no good. Hold with the rebound. Kurt Hold.
Take him up, big man.
He brought the ball down low, which is a cardinal sin, and I believe it was swatted around there. And he didn't have a good rhythm when he went up for it.
That particular time, the big people, if out there, if you're watching, you got to hold the ball up high. Once you bring it down, it's everybody's territory.
So Quinnipiac will hold for the last shot. We have 10 seconds remaining in the half. Tied at 31. McCormick in the corner. McCormick kicks it out. They kick it around the horn. Tremarky buries the three, and a very big three by Joe Tremarky as time runs out in the first half. And Quinnipiac will go to the locker room leading it by 3, 34-31. We'll be back with more halftime activities right after this.
Hi, I'm attorney Christopher Yule, a former assistant district attorney right here in Worcester County. I've tried hundreds and hundreds of jury trials. I now have a new show on Channel 3 called Law Talk Live. This is where we clear up all the legal mumbo jumbo. So if you want some free legal advice, you want to have a little fun, watch us on Channel 3, Law Talk Live.
Looking for a new truck, sport, or utility vehicle? Look no further. Edward Buick GMC Truck is one of New England's most respected GMC truck dealers. Get the big advantage. Edward Buick GMC Truck will give you the most generous trade-in allowance, greatest lease program, and the best financing. No money down with your good credit. Stop in today and see one of our helpful salespeople, or ask for Brad Day, GMC Truck Manager, for the best deal on a new GMC truck. Edward Buick GMC Truck, 72 Shrewsbury Street, Worcester.
When you visit, you will find lots of stuff, peace of mind, in a place called Home Surplus. Many say they can't get enough. Bargains, seconds, surplus store. Unbeatable prices. Every day brings more. Sure, you can find what you're looking for. There's no reason at all to pay any more. Come builders and contractors, husbands and wives, and all you bargain hunters who are in for a surprise when you visit Home Surplus.
Who pays for the alcohol you drink? Do you pay for it?
I work at the school bookstore.
Do your parents pay for it?
My mom sends me money.
Or do your friends pay for it?
I have to cover for my friend when he's too drunk to come to class.
I have to clean up after my roommate when she gets sick.
My boyfriend gets out of control.
Drinking. If you must do it.
To be honest, I'm sick of it.
Don't overdo it.
Welcome back to halftime, everyone. Joining me today is Assumption forward and junior Drew Cooper. And Drew, certainly this team, this year the Assumption team is up there in the top of the NE10, and kind of the program is back on the rise. Is this the best Assumption team you've been affiliated with since you came here 3 years ago?
There's no question about it by far. You know, we were 6-19 my freshman year, and wins were like awkward. You know what I mean? Like we won like our 3 of our first 6 games, so. And then the rest of the season, final 20 games or something, we won like another 3 games. So, and then last year we were 14-12. We were getting back to where we wanted to be, but we didn't really think that at the beginning of the year we didn't really realize that we could play with anyone in the conference. You know what I mean? So still, you know, our confidence was a little bit down. But this year, you know what I mean? We ended up getting second place last year in the conference, because of a late season run, and so we came in this year with all the confidence in the world, and you know, we really feel like we can beat anyone in the country.
And how much is it, you just alluded to the confidence level and it being not even so much physical but a mental state that, hey, we belong on the court with every team in the NE10 or every team really for that matter that we're playing, and we have a shot to beat these guys?
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot to do with confidence because my freshman year, I mean, we actually probably had better players than we do, you know, on this year's team. They were more athletic, better shooters, but that's not what it's about. It's about we gel together more as a team, and we know how to win, and that's what it's about. It's about knowing how to win. I think we're not perfect yet. We still have a long way to go, you know what I mean, to be into where we want to be, but we're getting there.
And how much is that kind of attributed to maybe head coach Serge DeBerry and the family atmosphere that he kind of seems to foster around here? You mentioned your freshman year, a lot of great players, but you know, individuals don't win the game, it's a team, and you guys really seem to be a close-knit group.
Right, well, I think Coach DeBerry's philosophy is kind of he recruits players, you know what I mean, but he recruits the family first, you know what I mean, and that's what it's all about, and that's kind of how the team is. We're all, you know, we're a big family, and we know, you know, we're like brothers, and we're on long road trips together, and we're just real tight, real close.
Maybe you could tell everyone a little bit about your background and how you came to play here at Assumption and the unique road, I guess, that got you here.
Yeah, well, I didn't play high school basketball. I never made a team in high school, but you know, I kept on playing. I kept on practicing. I played in some summer basketball camps with some friends that were on the teams, you know, back home. And the director of the camp, you know, saw something that he liked about me, and he made some calls, sent out some statements, and Coach DeBerry got the job here in about a month before classes started here. He gave me a call, asked me if I was up for a tryout. So, like, he called me like on a Wednesday. I was up for a tryout on a Friday, and I was signed on Saturday. So I was ready to come up here. I was ready to play.
And how was that? Your freshman year, you come in, like you said, after having not played in high school, and you make an immediate impact, averaging over 15 points a game. And what was that like?
Well, it made me feel like I was a lot better than I was, because like I look back on it and I was like, wow, you know, I was doing this and this, but we were awful. Like you know what I mean? We were 6-19, and so the accomplishments don't sound as good as they really are when you're on a team that didn't even make the playoffs that year, you know.
Mm-hmm. And now, growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, you mentioned to me a little bit before that basketball is just king out there. It's not so much a professional sports town, but it's basketball.
Yeah, it is. It's to some people, it's like a religion. You know, high school basketball every Tuesday and Friday night, and then with you know, a big rivalry between University of Kentucky and University of Louisville. It takes standard down there.
And then this year you had the opportunity to join some very elite company here at Assumption, scoring your 1,000th point as a junior, which is even rarer here to do at the college, and certainly put you in a top class.
Yeah, I was glad I got that out of the way. It happened over Christmas break, and it was nice because my mom, my sister, my grandma, they've been to like one game before early my freshman year, so they saw like a bad loss against Clark. That was a terrible loss. But anyway, they came back up and they saw us get 2 wins, and we did lose one that weekend. But they were there for the 1,000 points, so that was kind of special. I'm glad they got to see that, and I'm glad I got it out of the way. I don't have to worry about that again.
And kind of another different thing here that happened to you this season, but certainly unique, is the trip that you guys took to Hawaii. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about the trip and what that did to the team, and even bringing the team closer together.
Well, it really did bring the team closer together. I mean, we were together constantly for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it was a real special trip. It was unbelievable out there. We had a great time, great experiences. I mean, we grew together as a team, you know, on and off the court, because we had a good win and then a loss, you know, that we faced a lot of adversity in the loss, and there were, you know, the kind of a tough situation, because it was almost a good loss, but we grew a lot closer there.
And how about the fact, too, you guys were out there with the Worcester State men's basketball team, and as well the women's team was out there with you from Assumption as well. And what was that like? Kind of out there, I guess, the women's team, Katie Kerr said that both squads, or all three squads, were really pulling for each other, and they were there at the games to cheer each other on.
Yeah. The thing about the girls' teams going was we never really got to see our point guard there because he has a girlfriend on the girls' team. He was always with her. My roommate Andy Nizwicki, we never saw him once. We missed you, Andy, on the trip. But other than that, yeah, we grew closer together, and it was a great time.
And you had an assistant coach, Sean Doherty, seemed to grow a little bit closer together too with his girlfriend, then now fiance.
Yeah, we knew we had an idea that proposal was coming, and Coach Doherty told us one morning. We all cheered him on, and it was a good time. Coach Doherty, he's a great guy, and Jen's a great girl, and they're gonna make a great couple.
All right, thanks for joining me, Drew. Good luck with the rest of the season. We'll be back with more halftime activities right after this.
Ready to get serious about fitness? Come to Fitness Equipment Etc., Worcester County's only specialty fitness superstore. Think about it. You can have the finest quality fitness equipment right in your own home to use whenever you want. From aerobics to bodybuilding, at Fitness Equipment Etc., you'll get the personal service you need to buy the right equipment for your lifestyle. Fitness Equipment Etc. in Shrewsbury on Route 9 across from Spags.
Pump it up.
As the school year went on, her grades started to decline.
When the parent says, I think there's a problem, we say, well, then there probably is.
I didn't want to wait. What was I waiting for?
The longer you wait, the more the child falls behind.
There's certain skills that they build on for later.
We fill that gap. We teach them those skills.
That's the silver difference.
All parents want the best for their children.
Today, I think kids need the best possible start.
They want to give them the world.
Sylvan Learning Center. Call 1-800-EDUCATE today for the center nearest you. That's 1-800-EDUCATE.
One dealership has sold more new and used cars and trucks than anyone else in Worcester County. Our Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Toyota, and Dodge. Another reason to buy a harmonized used car or truck. Reason number 4, 30-day or 1,500-mile full trade-in policy. For all 10 reasons and lots of great buys, see the new Bigger and Better Auto Buyer's Guide in this Sunday's newspaper. Our Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Toyota, and Dodge, Gold Star Boulevard, Worcester. Home of harmonized used cars and trucks.
When you give blood to the Red Cross, you're saving someone's life.
To think that I've saved somebody's life just makes me feel awesome.
It's like scoring a touchdown in a major game.
Knowing I saved someone's life feels like I just completed my first skydive.
Yes! Like fireworks, 4th of July fireworks.
Woo, boy! Hot diggity! Hot diggity!
We're back, everyone, to the Alaska Gymnasium. Quinnipiac in front at halftime, 34-31. And a little storyline from the first half. Quinnipiac took an 11-point lead at a 15-12 mark following a 15-2 run. Then, in a 10-minute span, Assumption went on a 22-8 run and taking a 3-point lead with 5:10 remaining in the half. From that point on, Quinnipiac jumping out to an 11-4 run, and they lead by 3 points at the half. And there we go, Ernie, that's you and I, and certainly there's been 3 ties in this game, 5 lead changes. Taking a look at some of the first half action, you can see Drew Cooper, who is the leading scorer for Assumption, hitting the big left-hander.
Big Cooper also was the assist leader for the first half, and also he capped off one of the leaders in the points department with 8. And Cooper pretty much has been the glue for this team for the first half. He's been getting some good shots and penetrating and getting in the lane there, and he looked really good on that one.
And conversely for Quinnipiac, Mike Wall hit a big 3-pointer, and that was really a momentum buster, as you called it at the time, putting a dagger in the heart of the Greyhounds, their fans, and their players. It was a big 3, and I think we're going to get another look at that. And it certainly was a big momentum changer anyway, and it seemed in the first half that Quinnipiac was able to stave off a lot of Assumption runs with some big baskets, and none more so than this play right here.
Yeah, Joe Tamarki with the basketball, serving it around the perimeter over to Mike Wall. Mike Wall was able to comfortably knock down the three, and that was one of the reasons why Quinnipiac was able to stay in this basketball game. Assumption that once again came out flat, but they did make a run at the end of the first half, which tied up the ball game, but at the same time, Quinnipiac was able to lead with a three.
Kurt Hold, the big man for Assumption, has 8 points in the first half to lead the way, and he really stepped it up both on the rebounds and in the scoring column. We're going to get a look at him doing a little of both on this play.
Kurt Holt obviously has been the chairman of the boards. He also is one of the leaders as far as points goes. He had 8 in the first half, as well as he's doing a good job as an individual rebounder for this team. He has a big 7.
He has 8. Cooper has 8 to lead the way for Assumption. Brad Mancini, the freshman, has 6. On the other side of things, McKenzie has 10, Tremarky has 9, and Miles Anderson has 6 for the Braves to lead the way. And Miles Anderson was a factor early on, then he was injured, stepped out a bit, then he came back and he stepped it up again, and here's one of those hoops.
They need a big job for Miles Anderson to come in, do a little bit more what he's been doing right there. He's been able to get to the basket, but you know something? He actually been missing some of the bunnies that's been down there. He's had an opportunity to do that. He's a senior forward out of Hampton, Connecticut, went to Cheshire Academy, and Miles has to basically improve on owning the paint area down there. And there's the drummer, because I'm a drummer. Kick that beat, homie.
Okay, strike up the band. We're going to be back with the second half right after this, with Quinnipiac leading it 34-31.
Here's my nephew Scruff, about to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Oh, look at this. Uh-oh. It's my dad's. So want to hold it? What'll I do?
You'll see, but that's not the only problem he has.
Hey, here's a shortcut. Not down there, Square. I don't think it's safe. Come on, the coast is clear. I'm not taking a chance, Lance. Oh, no. Well, hello, Dogface. Come to give us your sneakers.
Uh-oh, trouble again, Scruff. What are you gonna do now?
I don't know.
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies, drugs, and guns.
Am I the hero again?
You'll see, and you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. And you'll be helping take a bite out of crime.
I want it, I want it.
Why would anybody give someone they don't know a gift? They do it because this gift saves lives. And the need for it is desperate. We need over 20,000 people to give this precious gift every day. Please give blood. There's a life to be saved right now. Call the American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE.
We're back to the Alaska Gymnasium at the half, where Quinnipiac is enjoying a 3-point advantage over the host, Assumption Greyhounds, and the Braves have yet to win a league game. On the other side, Assumption is 7-3 in the NE10. Quick look at the halftime statistics. Look at Assumption shooting 38% from the floor, while Quinnipiac 52. That's really been the story of the game so far. Free throw percentage, Quinnipiac god awful at 25%. Assumption 75%. The rebounding advantage is in favor of Quinnipiac. 12-7 turnovers. Quinnipiac with 12 Assumption with 7. And the score is in favor of the Braves as Quinnipiac leads it by 3, 34-31.
But right now, Coach Serge DeBarry's trying to figure out, okay, what is the right combination I'm going to put into this team? And most of all, how am I going to spark this team? Because right now, for the Hoop Scoop or Assumption Greyhounds, when trailing at halftime, they, so far this season, have been 4 up and 3 down. And right now, Quinnipiac has the opportunity to take the ball out, and at the same time, they were able to hit the basket before the half ended. They want to see if they can continue this run. And right now, the clock is not correct. It's at 19 minutes, and no one has recognized it yet. But the clock has stopped, and the clock has stopped. And now the
clock remains 19 minutes. Now they begin to fiddle.
No, it's 7 minutes and a half, 5 minutes and a half. No, the game's over. No, actually, they're adjusting the clock.
And they're getting on the floor as well. Kurt Hold with the steal. And here comes Assumption. They push St. Martin. Won't go off the glass. Cooper battling for the rebound, and it is picked up by Tremarchi.
Yeah, Assumption trying to do what they did in the first half. That's how they like to get their points. Get it off the fast break. If not, they like to back it out and run their half-court offense.
Rashad McCormick with the ball. Tries to feather it down low on the bounce pass to Anderson. It is picked off Ryan Moore the other way. Nice defense by Tremarchi, getting back and getting a hand in there, and Moore's shot is no good.
They're looking for some more leadership from McCormick.
And McKenzie steps up and hits a 3. And Quinnipiac now leads by 6.
McKenzie, nice looking guard, 6'3", 195, out of Queensboro, New York. Looked very good running, worked very hard in the offseason. It showed right there with that nice smooth 3.
St. Martin, nice floater in the lane. Steve St. Martin getting the first basket for the Hounds here in the second half and cutting the deficit to 4.
St. Martin seems to get into that paint area just below the free throw line.
Anderson, big rebound. The putback won't go. It is tipped and it's just grabbed. Ryan Brown pushing players out of his way.
Situation was Quinnipiac was like looking for some help, but at the same time, nobody was cutting to the basket. And Quinnipiac was trying to create some offense. Joe Tremarchi tried to thread the needle with a bounce pass. Ill-advised.
Ryan Moore picks it off. Now he is going to be knocked down. St. Martin picks it up, and St. Martin lays it in.
Oh, St. Martin loved that. He loved when his teammates was on the floor. He says, "Oh, you should have seen his chops." He was licking him. He was going crazy.
Ryan Moore getting on the floor, getting the steal, and St. Martin picking it up on the other end and cutting Quinnipiac's lead to 2.
I think St. Martin rather have got on the floor and let the ball keep going.
He may have. He's bucking for the All-Madden team, or the All-Floyd team as it is here. Shot clock down to 10 seconds and counting. Anderson, down low, trapped. Kicks it back out. They're going to have to let something fly soon. Tremarchi's shot is no good, and the rebound is run down by McCormick.
That's what happens with Assumption. They were cramming the paint area down in the low post. High rebound allowed Quinnipiac to reload on offense.
Tremarchi trying to go inside to Brown, and it is stolen by Niedzwiecki. Niedzwiecki gives to Moore. Moore cuts it in, and Moore is fouled. And he will go to the line for 2.
Andrew McKenzie had to try to create the fouls, try to stop the fast break so Assumption doesn't pick up momentum in this game. And right now, as you can see, Ryan Moore trying to gather himself. Nice foul by Andrew McKenzie, but almost Moore was able to almost pulled it out.
Ryan Moore, a very interesting story. The 6'5" sophomore, 200 pounds from Attleboro, Mass. He took 3 years off out of high school, worked at Toys R Us, then spent last year at Massasoit Community College. Caught the eye of Serge DeBarry. They brought him in. They loved his character, loved his heart. And right now he is second on the team in scoring. He leads the team in rebounding, and that's good enough for second in the NE10.
Yeah, he's definitely capable of scoring. He averaged about 28 points and 11 rebounds. And at one time had 48 points and 15 rebounds.
Ryan Moore hits both free throws, and we are all tied at 37. And now the defensive pressure turning it up, and Hold almost came away with a big steal.
Hold, it's nice to see the big man get out there and play with the little people. Hold can hold his own out there in the quick department.
We're going to get a blocking foul, I believe, now on Andy Niedzwiecki.
There's St. Martin over there in the corner, and they're tending to him. as he's getting recharged with the trainer.
We'll have to take a look at what that is. He does have a condition. Steve St. Martin has had 2 open heart surgeries. He has an irregular heartbeat, and that's something that they try to monitor. The heart goes up and down quick to beat. He's been known to faint, so he takes medication for that and tries to keep his heart at a consistent rate, usually up, and at times you'll see him on the sideline jumping ropes just to keep the heart rate up so it doesn't drop suddenly. And that's what they guard against when he comes out of the game, and hopefully that is not the issue right here, but it looks like it may just be a case of that, where he just felt a little lightheaded and stepped out. He's trying to get some fluids now.
Unbelievable.
Hopefully it is nothing serious, and St. Martin will be back in the game. As we mentioned, he really is the leader of this team.
Yeah, he definitely goes 110 miles per hour in a 30-mile zone all the time.
Kurt Hold with a big rebound off of the Casey Carney miss. Hold fouled as he was going up, and he will go to the line to shoot 2.
Kurt Hold is basically holding his own, down low, attacking the offensive glass, sweeper, able to get the ball, put it back up, getting fouled on the play. Good job by the big man keeping the ball alive for Assumption.
Andrew McKenzie picking up the foul. It is his 2nd of the ball game. The only one really in foul trouble right now for either team is Andy Niedzwiecki with 3 for Assumption. Kurt Hold, 74% shooter from the line. He nailed the first one. He knocks them both down, and you look into the corner now, and Steve St. Martin walking back to the Assumption bench, and that's a welcome sight for Hound fans. Wall coming up with a big one. And we are tied at 39. 16:30 to go in the game.
This game is being closely monitored. As you noticed, as you mentioned earlier, in the standings, this is a big contest for both teams to try to get a win.
Old shot won't go. Brian Moore with the rebound. There's a lid on the basket right now for Moore. That one was in and out. Wall, the leaner, using the glass, won't go. Battle for the loose ball is picked up by Cooper. And now here's the freshman Mancini pushing it up. Wall goes for the steal, doesn't get it. Cooper to Hold, nice touch pass. Hold goes up and just can't get the bunny.
Oh, he had a nice open too. I think he was so surprised that he was open that he overshot it.
Assumption has been snake bitten, and that is a 2-point shot by Tremarky. Just inside the arc, but Assumption has been snake bitten down low. They've had a couple shots inside the paint, and neither of them have fallen the last 2 times down the floor.
Tremarky, being a big-time senior for Quinnipiac, he actually had 9 points in the first half, and he's continuing to light it up right now. He had big 8 rebounds in the first half. He's one of the key players for this team. And here, as we watch it in transition, Quinnipiac able to get out on the perimeter, able to knock down those 3-point attempts. I believe that was a 2, though.
Just inside the arc, and Drew Cooper comes right back, and Cooper getting his first points of the second half. And the Braves are going to run it, and we're going to get a blocking foul now. McKenzie was going hard to the hoop, and I think it was Cooper's going to get tagged with it. Cooper was looking.
Coach Joe DeSantis right now basically is taking his team and wants to basically force it down Assumption, get inside the perimeter area, make sure that you put these guys into foul trouble. This is a game he's really working hard at, not like any other game, because at the same time they haven't won a game in the 17 times out, but at the same time they want to see if they can get a confidence booster by taking one from Assumption at home.
McKenzie shooting a sizzling 84% from the charity stripe, nails the first one. Quinnipiac has the lead, 42-41. 15:24 remaining in the game.
Unbelievable right now. Everybody across the conference is checking out this basketball game. And Quinnipiac, actually, if they continue, they can actually steal one tonight, Kevin.
They certainly can. McKenzie hits them both, and the lead is 2. Cooper to the hoop. It's good. Drew Cooper with a strong drive to the hoop. And Cooper is playing with 3 fouls. Both he and Niedzwiecki have 3.
2 key plays for Assumption. That time was nice that Drew Cooper took the baseline, commanded the position, and went up strong.
Wall running off a screen, now trying to feather it out, and he does so. They get it inside to Anderson. Anderson working on Hold, won't go. There's a battle for the ball. Kurt Hold gets the rebound. Hold has been a monster in the paint.
He definitely has. For some reason, he's been discouraging Anderson from going down low. Miles Anderson for Quinnipiac.
Wall driving, and we are going to get a foul, a push foul on Brad Mancini.
Brad Mancini getting busted on the open court area. That particular time wasn't back on in his defensive position. They took advantage of that. First year here at Assumption. He's a history major. Of course, he's from Paxton. He's a local and went to St. Peter Marion.
Adam Petkus in the ball game now for Assumption as well. He's a local product. Mancini slapping at the ball, had a steal, and Anderson picked up the loose ball, went up, and Mancini is going to be called again for his second foul in as many minutes. Mancini now has 3 fouls as well, so 3 Hounds with 3 fouls.
Good strong move right there. As you see, the big man's going up. Anderson's at the line right now. But I don't know. I'm looking at that size in that frame, and I'm looking at some of the notes on how he worked tremendously in the offseason. He's just not making it tonight. And I think Quinnipiac really needs him to pick up the slack.
They certainly do. He is one of the big men, 6'6", 225 pounds, as you mentioned, bulking up in the offseason due to a heavy weight program. And Anderson hits 1 of 2 free throws, and Quinnipiac leads it by 1, and now they will work some pressure defense. Niedzwiecki breaking the press, or the trap rather. Ryan Moore for 3, won't go. Adam Petkus battling for the ball. And we're going to have a jump ball, the arrow pointing in the direction of Assumption.
Quinnipiac created that pressure defense as Quinnipiac is just swarming all over Assumption. Assumption is taking the shots from the outside. At the same time, Assumption is attacking the offensive glass. And this particular time was a big tie-up, but Assumption gets the ball back.
And they get a nice hoop right off the inbounds pass. Brian Moore with the hoop.
Big basket by Brian Moore. Actually, that was a tough shot. That's about 8 feet out on the baseline. Any baseline shot is tough, and they needed that basket.
Quinnipiac will inbounds it. Niedzwiecki on Wall. Wall now stopped by Petkus. The Braves working it around the horn. They trail by 1. Hounds up 45-44. Wall's shot is no good. Niedzwiecki with the rebound. And he fires up court to Petkus. Petkus swooping in. He is going to be fouled by McKenzie. He doesn't get the hoop, but he will go to the line for 2.
Petkus was streaking up the court. Nice speed by Andy Niedzwiecki. Checking out Petkus leading the court there. Good foul, because he definitely had 2 going to the line.
Petkus, a local product from nearby Sutton, Massachusetts. 6'6" freshman, and he has gotten a lot of playing time during his freshman year, and he has contributed for the Hounds, averaging about 5 points per game in league play, 3.5 overall. Petkus hits 1 of 2, so the Hounds are up by 2. You're watching Assumption basketball on WGNC TV3.
On a ridge surrounded by pines, a spectacular semi-private golf course in central New England invites players of all abilities to experience a glorious day of golf in an environment of hospitality and friendliness. A PGA professional will handle all your golfing needs. Enjoy a sandwich in the sports pub during the day, or a mouth-watering dinner from our fabulous evening menu. Golf outings are our specialty. Public golf discounts are available daily. An ideal location for parties from 16 to 200. Pine Ridge Country Club is golfing at its best. Pine Ridge Country Club on Pleasant Street in North Oxford.
We're back to the Alaska Gymnasium, second half action. Assumption up by 2 with 13:51 to go. And Drew Cooper, the leading scorer for the Hounds, finding his scoring touch on a strong drive to the hole right here.
Good
Getting a little body contact in there as well. Coop gets the 2.
I'm used to Coop being out there outside the area code shooting up a field. That particular time, he went to the base, went to the bottom.
He shows he's not afraid to get in there and bang the bodies around as well. He's sitting on the bench right there with Casey Carney, the freshman, and Andy Niedzwiecki, the point guard.
Assumption, of course, Kevin, is not out of the woods yet. Quinnipiac seems to be hanging around, plenty of time. Situation where Assumption doesn't want to stay close to this team. That was a good sign right there on the pressure defense, costing Quinnipiac another timeout.
Quinnipiac will talk things over. We have had 8 lead changes, and we'll let you change bowls of chips or drinks or whatever you're doing, and we'll be back with more from the Hound Pound right after this.
Can I get you something to drink?
Folks, this is your captain speaking. Well, we've got a beautiful day for flying. Hope everyone is enjoying.
Nobody wants to finish second. That's why Icon Office Solutions helps you compete better. With outsourcing, copier systems, networking, and software from premier partners like Microsoft, Canon, Ricoh, and Osei. Icon Office Solutions. Work to win.
We're back to the Alaska Gymnasium. The Assumption cheerleaders getting the crowd pumped up and doing a little dancing as well along the sideline. Interesting note here, in the first half, Quinnipiac shot a sizzling 52% from the floor. In the second half, they are only shooting 27%. So a tale of two halves right now for the Braves. They have trouble getting inbounds again. Now they do. McCormick is trapped in the corner. And Assumption gets a hand on it, knock it out of bounds. It will remain Quinnipiac basketball. And they continue to be frustrated down in their own end, Ernie, trying to bring the ball up court.
Yeah, it's a situation where Quinnipiac now has the possession. Assumption's right on it. This is one of the reasons why Assumption was able to get back in the ball game and get a 2-point lead.
Josh Zielke picking up the foul right there, and that's a good look right there, because where we were standing, I thought it was a touch foul, but with that camera angle, you can clearly see that was a great call. Jay Brunetta bringing you the fine pictures right on top of the action. Down the other end, right on top of the rim, Quinnipiac. And Steve St. Martin back in the game. He will draw the foul.
Very smart play by Quinnipiac by doing the out-of-bounds play. They know that Assumption's playing tight. They got the fast break going. Of course, St. Martin was somewhere around there in the wrong place at the wrong time. Got nabbed for the foul.
Nevertheless, good sight to see St. Martin back in the game, as he had received some medical attention earlier. Assumption leading, 46-44, second half, 13:30 remaining in the game.
Assumption impressive with the defense, wrapping this Quinnipiac team like tape.
Mancini on McCormick right there doing a nice job. Anderson gets it inside, and Petkis gets the block, but gets him with the body. And Anderson will go to the line for 2.
Nice strong move by Anderson, and a nice job by Petkis. Unfortunately, got called for the foul, and this is what Coach DeSantis for Quinnipiac wants to see, is more of Anderson going up strong, using that wide body frame of his, getting to the line. Either he's going to score down low or score a couple of points at the free throw line. That was a good possession for Quinnipiac.
And Anderson hits the first. The lead is now 1.
Last year, Anderson played about all 25 games, making only about 2 starts, but yeah, at the same time, he was named honorable mention all-conference by the vote of the coaches following the season.
Anderson misses the second. There's a battle for the loose ball. Petkis pushes it ahead. Petkis gets on the floor. And Assumption gets a quick timeout. A great call by Drew Cooper. Adam Petkis diving on the loose ball. And Drew Cooper alertly calling timeout before Quinnipiac could tie him up. And the arrow pointing in the direction of the Braves.
Nice heads-up play by Assumption as everybody's diving for the ball. That's what you like to see. Everyone's getting on the floor. Cooper realizing that they got the possession, call the timeout real quick because every possession is important.
Great heads-up play by Drew Cooper. And that's
DeBerry.
just stuff you can't teach, Ernie. That's just having a head for the game and being able to keep a clear head in a tight contest like this.
Yeah, to Serge DeBerry regrouping his men. Actually, Serge DeBerry serves a couple of purposes here. He's over at the admissions department as well here, so he plays double duty. 1, recruit you. 2, he's in charge of admissions, plays a role over there, and 3, he's the coach. Actually, he plays 3 duties.
He wears many hats here on the campus of Assumption College. Assumption working it around the perimeter right now. Quinnipiac very active on defense. Shot clock is under 10. It's Wiki for 3. Buries it. Ending it's Wiki playing with 3 fouls. Gets his first points of the game, and it is a very big 3-point field goal. And Assumption leads it by 4.
Now they put on a clamp defense, and Assumption known to put on some good defense, but what happens is they always let themselves out of it by reaching all the time. That time Mancini was able to knock the ball out of bounds. No foul on the play.
Now they inbounds the ball to McKenzie.
Assumption doing a great job getting back on defense.
Tremarchi, guarded by Mancini, gets it into Anderson. Anderson, we are going to get, a blocking foul, so Anderson will go to the line looking for a three-point play.
Anderson's starting to finally fill it up. Miles Anderson out of Hamden, Connecticut, starting to use that 6'6", 225 the way I thought he should be doing it. He's coming through now. He's starting to hit the tough ones. Early in the first half, he wasn't hitting those shots. Now he's coming through. Now they're paying dividends. Now they're making a difference.
Anderson has 10 points, second on the team in scoring right now, and he completes the three-point play. That foul went on Adam Petkis, his second of the ball game. And that was Quinnipiac's first basket since the 15:47 mark of the second half.
Yeah, overall, he finished 3 points behind Joe Tremarchi for team scoring artist. And he led the team
Cooper trying to swivel
times.
one up, won't go. Tremarchi coming away with it, gives to McCormick. 12 minutes remaining in the game. The Assumption lead is 1.
Assumption still not out of the woods yet.
Mancini looking to pick up a steal. Knocked it away, but it goes out of bounds. Tremarchi will inbounds it for the Braves. And he gives to McCormick. McCormick, not much of a shooter. He likes to create the offense and run the floor. McCormick matched up against Mancini. And now there's a bottleneck down low. Kick it out to Brown. Someone's going to have to pull up, and McCormick does, off balance for three, no good. Shot clock was down to 4 seconds, and that's why McCormick had to just fire away. Wicki looking to force that one inside to Cooper. It was tipped by Brown. Assumption retains possession.
Quinnipiac was having a tough time down there. Assumption did a great job on defense. Just couldn't find the pull until that forced McCormick to shoot from the outside, which was an air ball. And now Assumption gets the possession down at the other end.
Joe DeSantis, the Quinnipiac coach, talking to McCormick about that air ball and the shooting form.
They're looking for a lot out of McCormick to run this team, and a lot of pressure on that man.
Drew Cooper, 3-ball, corner pocket. And now Assumption is up 52-48.
Assumption trying to slowly but surely pull away. All of a sudden they come up with a big steal by Miles Anderson.
Anderson taking it away from Brian Moore. Moore didn't like it. He was looking for a foul.
Give it back to the big man. Look for the big man. He got the ball for you, so you want to reward him. He's down low, posting strong.
Tremarchi now to Wall, and we're going to have a foul underneath.
What?
Double foul. It's going to go on Brown and Hold. A double foul.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of bump and grind down there. Teams are having a tough time down low, battling one another. Double foul being attached to both players.
Brian Moore gets tagged with it, not Kurt Hold.
Some punishments going on down there.
Definitely is. The Assumption lead is 4, and now we're going to have a traveling violation on Wall. Quinnipiac turnover, their 17th of the ball game. And Assumption will take over possession, leading 52-48 with 10:20 remaining in the second half.
Assumption's key to staying in this game has been their tough, hard offense as Kurt Hold went to the basket, high off the glass.
Tremarchi, no good. Rebound by Anderson. Anderson has been a monster off the glass for Quinnipiac. And Wall with another traveling violation. That's 2 in a row from Mike Wall.
And Coach DeSantis is not very happy about that situation.
Drew Cooper, with that last 3-point field goal, moves into sole possession of 24th place all time on the Assumption career scoring list with 1,128 points. So Cooper making a little history in this game. And he'd like to get the team a win, I'm sure more than any personal statistics. Cooper kicks it out to Carney. Carney for 3, won't go. Brian Moore with a rebound.
And a hit off Quinnipiac player will go out of bounds, so Assumption will hang on to it, but Moore is upset with himself. If he could have collected that, he was right on top of the hoop. And now there's going to be a backcourt violation. Kurt Hold. Pass for Brian Moore. Was a little too close to the sideline. Moore had to track it down in the backcourt. It's a turnover, and Quinnipiac takes over, and they can cut the Assumption lead to 2 with a field goal and 1 with a 3. And they'll cut it to 1, or check that, 2 with a field goal by McKenzie.
Right now, Quinnipiac has to play alive on defense, move the feet, move the hands, get into the passing lanes. And that particular time, which wasn't included in the Assumption play, which is to knock out one of the
turnover. Let's take a look, coming right into your living room. Brian Moore looking for either Cooper or someone. Instead hits our cameraman Jay Brunetta.
3D.
The intrepid Jay Brunetta never blinked. Just took it in stride. He's got a Wilson tattoo right now on his chest.
He's the big man on campus right now.
Now a charging violation against Quinnipiac, so Assumption will take over. So the Hounds looking to make up for that turnover, drawing the charge.
Quinnipiac's been having the opportunities to see if they can get back into this ball game. They're still fairly hanging around pretty close here, but the turnovers are definitely costing them. And Coach DeSantis is beside himself over there.
He's picking up the chair. He's now working the chair. He's beating the chair up. We could have a Bobby Knight situation if he starts throwing the chair. Drew Cooper, third three-pointer of the ball game. Coop is starting to heat up.
Yep, Coop the grass is holding him out there. Full court pressure defense by Assumption.
Hounds up by 5. 8:30 remaining in the contest. Brian Moore gets whistled for the pushing foul. That is his third.
Not a very smart foul by Brian Moore. Right now, Quinnipiac is trying to reload their offense. And what happens is Assumption's doing such a great job on defense, and they're getting called for the little silly fouls by reaching in and grabbing. And what they should do is just hold themselves down and just hang in there, because they've been doing such a great job by putting some pressure on Quinnipiac.
It is the bonus situation, so Mike Wall will be at the line.
This is a situation where Quinnipiac is going to have to take advantage of the clock stop.
Wall nails the first free throw attempt. The Assumption lead is now 4. 8:30 remaining in the contest. Mike Wall, who has 6 points in the game, looking to make it 7. He does. And the Hounds now lead at 55-52 with under 8.5 minutes remaining in this contest.
Let's check out Quinnipiac's version of their full court press, trying to slow down Assumption as they're trying to grab to get back into this ball game. They're only down 3.
Ryan Moore getting it down low and drawing the foul on Ryan Brown. I believe
Brian Moore cheating a little bit. Number 43 right there for Quinnipiac. Ryan should have had an opportunity to get around the front to defend, but that particular time he played from behind, which cost him to go to the bench.
Ryan Brown picking up his 4th personal foul, and that is why you see him going to the bench with 8:15 remaining. That is a big foul on Mr. Brown. He's one of those wide bodies in there for Quinnipiac, 6'7", 240 pounds. He's also a senior, so that is big when he checks out of the game. They lose a little leadership, certainly a lot of size, and we'll have to see if Assumption can take advantage of it. Drew Cooper checks out of the game. Brad Mancini checks in for the Hounds. Moore nailing the free throws.
Assumption demonstrating the full court press. All of a sudden the quick trap comes up with the steal.
Steal by St. Martin. St. Martin going up with it. St. Martin staying with the play. He missed the first shot, stayed right with it. He faked he was going to give it to Nitzwicki, went up strong with it, and he gets the hoop, giving the Hounds a 7-point lead. But now Brad Mancini gets called for a foul, and Serge DeBerry wants to talk things over with him. That will be Mancini's 4th personal foul.
Yeah, the situation right here is St. Martin comes in with the quick trap. Also, he gets some assistance from Andy Nitzwicki. Good turnaround, missed the first attempt, Nice defensive play by Joe Tremarchi trying to recover. Of course, St. Martin stays with it, gets the 2. In that particular time, the clock got stopped, as you see St. Martin by Mancini. Mancini gambled, trying to make a steal.
Mike Wall misses the first of 2 free throw attempts. Joe DeSantis out on the floor again, trying to give his team some instructions.
Yeah, he's trying to coach him on the free throw.
He is. Wall hits the second one, and say this about DeSantis, his team is 1-17, they're 0-11 in league play, but he does not quit. He sets the example, Ernie. He is fighting for every little inch he can get.
Well, especially right now, he sees a lot of daylight against this Assumption team. He feels though he can come in and steal one, and it looks pretty good that he possibly can do that.
Assumption up, 59-53. Brian Moore going up strong to the hole. He is battered in the head, and I believe it was Jason Rosado who got him.
Wow. Jason Rosado. It's hammer time for Jason Rosado. Matter of fact, Jason Rosado wears about a size 19 feet, and he has a problem with the fact that Coach DeSantis requires his team to go out when they go on the road to wear proper attire. And of course, when you wear proper attire, it comes with formal shoes, right? But of
Yes,
course,
it does.
Rosado can't afford formal shoes because he wears a size 19. So what do? You go to Shaq's closet.
Exactly right. You call up Shaq and say, hey, let me borrow a pair of your shoes. You got enough. Rosado, 6'10", 210 pounds. And the shoe size to go along with it. Brian Moore hits the free throw attempt, and Moore has been strong from the line tonight.
Unbelievable. But hey, he gave Brian Moore hammer time on that last foul.
Assumption 8 of 9, make it 9 of 10 from the line here in the second half. They were only 1 of 5 from the charity stripe in the first half, so they have really stepped up their game here in the second stanza. St. Martin looking to get the steal, and he does. St. Martin busting his butt, going end line to end line, gets the steal, and now we're going to have a reach-in violation on Wall. What can you say about Steve St. Martin? It's superlative city.
Unbelievable. He comes running, flying back through the defense like he's Flash, gets him, knocks him down, knocks the big man down. A big man knocks down like he's a domino. He's trying to say, wait, where did this guy come from? Cause for him to take some time.
Look at him smiling on the bench. The smiling assassin.
Unbelievable.
He was out there not that long ago getting some medical attention, exhausted. He's got that heart condition. He's come up here taking charges. He had the big steal earlier, and he just came up with another huge steal.
Yeah, big steal by Brian Moore, getting that rebound off of the free throw miss. Kurt Holt trying to operate down low.
Mancini double clutch, kicks it now to Zilke. Zilke's shot won't go, and Kurt Holt battling for the loose ball. It goes out of bounds. Quinnipiac will take possession. And we will have a timeout on the floor with 7:04 remaining in the game, and Assumption up 61-53.
Can we see the ball game for $1?
Go away, kids, you're bothering me.
Can we see the concert for $1? Can we see the animals for $1? Can we please see a movie for $1?
You kids just don't get it, do you?
Now you can get it all. Sports, music, animals, movies, news, and more. All for about $1 a day. Greater Media, your television will never be the same.
We're back to the Alaska Gymnasium, and our next game is February 7th, when we will have a double header at the Hart Center. Holy Cross, the men's and women's teams, entertaining the Colgate Red Raiders. Our coverage begins at 1 o'clock, and last night, Ernie, very entertaining game at the Hart Center as the Lady Satyrs down Navy to share first place in the Patriot League, and a packed Hart Center enjoying all the action. Similar game tonight, the Alaska Gymnasium, or the Hound Pound. Plenty of fans enjoying this game and enjoying a nail-biter between Quinnipiac and Assumption.
Full court press being applied by Assumption. Quinnipiac.
Almost a steal by Niedzwiecki. They track McCormick, and now they give Niedzwiecki a foul and Andy Niedzwiecki picking up his 4th foul. That is a very big call. Very big call. There is still 6:48 remaining in the game, and Niedzwiecki picks up his 4th.
Well, they trapped McCormick pretty decently right there. As you see, you almost see 3 Hounds on the on Quinnipiac, and all of a sudden he was able to break through, and they call a foul against him. Almost could have easily went offensive.
I think so. As you saw, McCormick really just trying to muscle his way around and pick up a little breathing room. He knocked into Niedzwiecki, knocked him backwards, and Niedzwiecki almost kind of got tangled with him while he was going down. McCormick hits 1 of 2. Niedzwiecki for St. Martin. St. Martin fakes the pull-up. Great dish to Brian Moore. Oh! Brian Moore looking for the 3-point play, as was the entire cheering section behind the hoop. It goes in and out, and Moore will go to the line to shoot 2 with Assumption up 61-54.
Good job by St. Martin pushing the issue, does the up fake, nice bounce pass to lead it into his teammate. Teammate goes up, does a little twister, gives you some French pastry there. Unfortunately, it didn't fall, but that's okay. He has an opportunity to shoot 2.
Little mister with the twister. Brian Moore hits the first of 2 free throw attempts. Moore has 7 points from the line and 11 points overall from the game, so he has done the bulk of his scoring from the line tonight. Now there's a scramble for the loose ball. Drew Cooper picks it up and puts it in. And once again, the defensive pressure being exerted by Assumption is paying off and playing fits with Quinnipiac.
Well, guess
and the
who
lead
was
is
there?
10.
St. Martin was at the beginning end of that one, creating it for Holt.
Tremarky's shot is off. Assumption with their largest lead of the ball game, 64-54. Cooper in trouble, kicks it out to Niedzwiecki. Cooper pump fakes from 3, leans in, he draws a foul. It will go on Wall. Wall picking up his 4th foul. 5th, check that. So that's it for Mike Wall. Wall fouls out with 8 points. He will go to the bench. Both teams will huddle around their coaches, collect their thoughts. The Hounds leading by 10 with 6:08 remaining in this game. And Ernie, what does that do to a team when a player like Wall fouls out?
Well, he was a versatile perimeter player, has that Division I game experience, and what that happens right now is they lose their leadership in that guard spot. And right now, that puts pressure on McCormick. McCormick, who's a freshman, and of course Wall, who's a sophomore. And they're looking for some more leaders out there on the floor, even though they're down 10 right now. They need somebody to be good with the basketball. But unfortunately, as far as Quinnipiac goes, but for Assumption, they haven't been able to find St. Martin, and St. Martin's been coming up with the big defensive steals.
Drew Cooper hits 1 of 2 from the line. Assumption up by 11. And the defensive pressure again. Hounding, no pun intended, Quinnipiac.
Yeah, you meant that.
And they throw it away. Assumption will take over possession, and we're going to get a timeout. Quinnipiac, oh, check that, it's a technical foul. So the head coach for Quinnipiac, Joe DeSantis, earning himself the tee. He was in the ref's ear, giving it to him, and I don't know what he was complaining about. I think probably more so out of frustration than anything else, as he saw his team throwing the basketball around, getting the ball stripped from them down low. But he gets the technical, and Niedzwiecki hits the first of 2 free throw attempts. Niedzwiecki hits them both, so DeSantis gives the Hounds a gift too. And that's certainly worse than any of the turnovers that his team was stricken with there due to that intense defense that Assumption has been applying here in the second half.
Well, he figures that they're going to be onward and upward. Quinnipiac, of course, is in their final year of mandatory 2-year transition from Division II to Division I. He figures he's out of here anyway, so.
Well, sometimes I think, Ernie, too, a coach will do that to really spark the team. He saw his team having trouble handling the ball. They were down by 10.
But you have to credit Assumption. Assumption has put on that defensive pressure. A la example, Cooper, give me something. Oh, I wanted something.
I wanted it too. He pulled up at the end, and Cooper's kind of laughing himself. I think he wanted to get up there, and I don't know if he just didn't. Time his steps. Look at Serge DeBerry. He's laughing.
He's like, come on, man.
Serge DeBerry's laughing.
Throw it down.
Take a break.
Give me something.
With Assumption leading 69-54. We'll be back with more hoop action right after this.
Can we see the ball game for $1?
Go away, kids, you're bothering me.
Can we see the concert for $1? Can we see the animals for $1? Can we please see a movie for $1?
You kids just don't get it, do you?
Now you can get it all. Sports, music, animals, movies, news, and more. All for about $1 a day. Greater Media, your television will never be the same.
We're back, everyone, and be sure and stay tuned for our next Assumption basketball game. It will be Wednesday, February 11th, when the Hounds entertain the Yellow Jackets from AIC. And all our coverage begins at 7:30. Serge DeBarry talking something over right now with the official. I believe he wanted to get Brad Mancini into the ball game. The officials would not let him substitute. Nevertheless, Hounds in front by 15 and continuing that defensive pressure. Steve St. Martin cutting off Tremarky at the pass. Tremarky going back to McCormick. Oh, Moore almost had a steal. You can see he was wanting to dive on the floor.
I think they got like an automatic mechanism up there. It's like, get on the floor. When the ball's there, get on the floor. You have to credit Serge DeBarry for creating some discipline in this basketball team. They're ready to get on the floor for all occasions.
Look at the pressure being turned up on defense again. This time the Braves do a nice job of breaking it. Tremarky to McKenzie. McKenzie inside to Anderson. Anderson turnaround, in and out. Rebound by Moore. And the Hounds will push it up. Steve St. Martin with it now. To Petkus. Petkus goes to Mancini. He's tipped. Brad came down with it. Serge wants him to slow it down a bit on offense and enjoy the clock. Cooper looking inside. He gets Petkus. Petkus gets it out to Mancini, but they called a timeout quickly as it again. That ball was on the floor, and it was a case where Quinnipiac could have grabbed onto it and caused a tie-up. Assumption calls for and receives the timeout. And remember, everyone, that coming up next, catch all your news on News Watch 3 with Ashley Risk and Martin Morenz. And they will have all the stories of the day as well as sports and weather, and that will be coming up immediately following our game at 10 o'clock. We have 4:54 remaining in this contest. Assumption up by 15, 69-54. The Hounds and Serge DeBarry can breathe a little bit easier here, as this one was a nip and tuck affair. Remember, they trailed at the half. They came out in the second half and really turned up the heat on defense, and that has sparked the offense.
Well, the D has definitely been the key, and it all starts from St. Martin getting on the floor, which created the big people such as Kurt Holt to get on the floor, and also it gave Cooper a chance to get to the basket. But also you have to think about it too as you look at the bench. Look at the bench comparison. Assumption can go at least about 6 deep. At the same time, Quinnipiac can only about 3 deep. So they're starting to wear down, and Assumption's taking advantage of it.
Drew Cooper with a jumper, and Assumption is on a 16-2 run, and Cooper is now 22nd all-time in the career scoring list for Assumption. So Cooper continuing to move up the charts as he continues to sink the jumpers. And here's another steal by St. Martin. I believe he'll take it himself. Steve St. Martin, why not? You earned it.
Unbelievable. That guy is like the ever-ready batter. He keeps going and going and going.
And I'll tell you what, Ernie, this will not look like it tomorrow when you pick up the paper and look in the box score.
He just reflected a
very
pass.
close game.
He's on the floor again.
He steals it, gets on the floor. And now Mancini's
they
going
better score here.
He's oh! The hoop and the harm. The crowd loves it.
Mancini the Houdini.
Mancini. A local favorite, now a crowd favorite. He goes up with the hoop, and of course it all starts with Steve St. Martin getting on the ground and getting the floor burns.
That's why he's congratulating him. There we go. It all started prior to that because St. Martin reflected the pass, got back in, got the ball up to Mancini. Mancini's out on the fast break. Quinnipiac trying to get back on defense, but wasn't back quick enough. Mancini says, I got to go all the way. I got to reward the big man for giving me the ball, and he just does that. And Mancini did a great job.
Crowd loved it. Mancini misses the free throw, so he does not complete the three-point play, but nevertheless, Assumption will maintain possession. And look at Steve St. Martin. Everyone wants to congratulate him now. He's over there getting the water. Why not? He's certainly earned it tonight.
Yeah,
Drew Cooper is fouled, and Cooper will go to the line now. Assumption is on a 20-2 run as they lead this one now by 21 points. And as I started to say, Ernie, when you pick up the box score tomorrow and look at the paper, this will look like a blowout, but it was far from it. The Hounds down by 3 at the half. They can laugh about it now.
They are pumping
that heart up.
It's just
now he's listening. He's listening for the beat.
Yeah,
Kurt Holt listening for the heartbeat as he pumps it up.
Dr. Holt is in the house.
Brian Moore putting the water bottle to his head just to try to get some relief.
That's unbelievable.
You
can't help but be inspired with plays like that.
Certainly can't. As you said, Ernie, it's contagious. When he starts to get on the floor, a man who's been on the operating table twice for his heart condition, diving on the floor and getting the steals and sacrificing his body like he does, there's no reason and no excuse for anyone on the team not doing the same. Adam Petkus with a big block. So the facials are being handed out even though Elizabeth Grady isn't in the house.
Yeah, actually it's after hours right now, so if she was, she'd be charging time and a half.
Drew Cooper, looked like he drew the foul. Pulls up. Drew Cooper is really starting to sizzle right now.
Coop DeGrasse is starting to fill it up for Assumption right now. And at the same time, Quinnipiac really doesn't have any outside threat. They're really hurting from the perimeter. You know he's not going to shoot it from there. And at the same time, McCormick hasn't been able to get it up. Here's another steal.
Zilke gets on the ground. He steals it, gets on the ground, and gets it to Mancini. Crowd loves it. And how can't you Zilke for 3? Oh my goodness.
Zilke, baby.
And the Hound Pound has been electrified here in the second half by the tenacious defensive play by Assumption. And DeSantis wants a foul call. He gets it, and he's saying, come on, give me a break, will you? He's looking for the license plate of the truck that just ran over his team.
Well, he's all the way down from South Central Connecticut, 10 miles north of New Haven, and halfway between New York City and Boston. Quinnipiac is here in the Hound Pound, and they got a long trip to get back there.
I'll tell you what, Quinnipiac has just been run over. They are wondering what hit them, because Assumption went on a 21-0 run. It is finally broken right there by Mackenzie's foul shot, but I'll say that again. The Hounds went on a 21-point run, and that has just devastated the Quinnipiac Braves and their head coach, Joe DeSantis.
Well, he doesn't have any artillery. One of his players is fouled out, which is Mike Wall, and at the same time, he only goes 2 deep on the bench. He's undermanned right now.
Mackenzie hits both free throw attempts, and Assumption now getting some of those younger players in the game. Chris Cassane, number 52, is in the game as well now. Zielke and Mancini's going to pull up from the baseline. Won't go. Rebound by Anderson.
Good opportunity to get the youngsters into the basketball game, especially as getting close to postseason. You want these guys to get familiarized with the ball, get into some game shape experience.
Reach-in foul on Casey Carney. That will be Carney's 3rd personal foul.
Casey Carney also played a role tonight for the Assumption team. Casey Carney, of course, in his first year, plays the off-guard position from Seekonk, Mass. He's a history major here. Assumption freshman guard Casey Carney, of course, was named Northeast 10 Freshman of the Week for the 2nd consecutive week and 3rd time overall after scoring big 33 points against Lemoyne. And as he does his exit right now, and he has an opportunity to sit down there and get some air along with St. Martin.
Mackenzie at the free throw line, and now we're going to have a substitution.
Right now,
Ryan Brown coming back in the game, and you would expect and see now the defensive pressure being turned up by Quinnipiac. They're going to try to get a steal or force a turnover in some way. McCormick on Brad Mancini. McCormick trying to retain his balance. Now there is a steal. We are under 2 minutes to play. Assumption comfortably in front, 82-58.
Big steal by Miles Anderson and able to get into the passing lane. The big man was able to turn around for Quinnipiac for an opportunity to score.
Now there's a battle for the loose ball. We are going to have a foul, and it will go on Adam Petkus. Petkus picking up his 3rd personal of the game, and he's a local product as well. Petkus from Sutton, Massachusetts.
Petkus coming in, creating the foul situation. Right now that stops the clock, allows Quinnipiac to get to the line, see if they can sneak 2, And most likely, as you see Coach DeSantis trying to work, trying to keep it together, at the same time, what's going to happen is if he hits these two, expect the immediate press because Quinnipiac needs the possession back to get back into this ball game with 1:43 left.
The story of this game, the turnovers, Quinnipiac with 26, Assumption with 11, and that, of course, all due to the intense defensive pressure that was put on by the Hounds here in the second half, and where they really turned up the heat and blew this game wide open. It was a very close game at one point, and in fact, it was a 3-point Quinnipiac lead at the half. Since then, the Hounds caught lightning in a bottle, Ernie. They electrified this crowd in the scoreboard, and they now lead it by 22 points.
Definitely, but right now I think Quinnipiac can spark up the defense. They've just created another turnover, but offense is where they're going to be kind of shaky. They really don't have any outside threat, and they've also demonstrated that. So right now, their key to getting back in this ball game is defense. And right now, Assumption, Jason Chavor, the junior out of Worcester, Mass, went to St. John's, just turned the ball over, giving Quinnipiac a third opportunity to come down and score.
So Quinnipiac will look to cut into this lead. It's going to be all academic at this point. They've got to just throw the ball up. Right now they're fiddling way too much in the lane. That's got to be a 3-second violation. Instead, we're going to get a foul call, but yeah, McKenzie was in the lane for quite some time there as he fiddled around with the ball.
All you had to do was basically back off of him. He had nowhere to go. You sealed him on defense, but what you do is you let him out of jail by hitting him. What happens now, you stop the clock, you allow Quinnipiac to try to get on the board for a couple more points, and expect to pressure defense once again. Not a very good foul for Assumption. Got to let the clock keep rolling.
McKenzie hits the first free throw attempt in that 21-point run where Assumption really took control of the game. Drew Cooper had 9 of the 21, so Cooper making his presence felt in the second half. He lit it up offensively. And of course, Steve St. Martin really led the charge on defense with some steals and some gutty performances, getting all over the floor. And Assumption blew the game wide open and ran away from an NE10 foe in Quinnipiac.
Oh, McCormick
raining down the three, and DeSantis wants a quick timeout.
With the socks almost up to his neck.
I'll tell you, it's got to be the socks, Ernie. That one was a bomb. He was falling away, and he kept the hand up there for some time, and that's something you're going to see done when it goes in. If it doesn't, he's going to bring that hand down quickly, but he was awfully excited about this.
McCormick is a freshman, is coming in. Finally was able to release his shot because the shot got blocked twice prior to that. He kept the hand up there. He said, talk to the hand, talk to the hand. And at the same time, Joe DeSantis says, okay, that was finally a bright spot. We got a 3. 47 seconds to go. Okay, now here's the miracle play. How to get back in the ball game.
We trail by 17 points with 47 seconds left. We need a whole host of threes and a whole host of steals and a whole host of luck, and I don't think you're going to see any of that, not in the building right now. And just another reminder, folks, stay tuned immediately following this game for News Watch 3. Get all your news and weather and sports with Ashley Risk and Martin Morenz.
Of course, the Hounds right now are back in first place, but Andy Suzuki was the unsung player for the men, and the team overall has been performing well. Okay, all right, highlights at 11. You got to cover that one?
Well, we'll try to get that one on, too. Petkus getting it on the scoreboard. And Assumption has outscored Quinnipiac 53-31 here in the second half. We talked before this game how this matchup was a tale of two cities. Well, this game has been a tale of two halves.
That was nice. Nice lead pass. I don't think he even put it on the floor. Was able just to scoop it up. That was our first scoop of the night, man. Give me a flavor for that one.
I'm going to go Mocha Chip.
Mocha Chip.
Mocha Chip with the scoop right there.
Mocha Chip like a choo-choo.
Mocha choo-choo, I'll tell you what, in terms of choo-choo, it's been a train, and it's been a non-stop number done by Assumption here in the second half as they have mowed down the Braves from Quinnipiac. 25 seconds remaining in this contest. It is all over but the shouting. The Hounds in front, 84-66.
Makes you want to shout. Right now, Quinnipiac, of course, needs the ball back, so they got to put on a full-court press. They may get a break, but unfortunately, the Bigfoot.
Ryan Brown protesting as he thinks it went off the Assumption player, and I kind of do too.
Uh-oh.
We're going to get a substitution. We're going to get a hold up here. The ball can't go in when someone's still moving out on the floor. 17 seconds remaining in this game. Brown contesting the inbounds pass. It goes over the head of Petkis. No one touched it, so no time goes off the clock.
Perfect situation where you play some token defense, let the clock
Brown
run
will
down.
now inbounds the ball.
Got to put it up. He's going to go back to a spot. Maybe he's going to put it up from there. It feels good.
The Braves trailing now by 16 as a big jumper by Tremarky. 8 seconds left to get off one more shot here. Zielke kicking it out, and that will do it. So, our final score from the Alaska Gymnasium, Assumption 84 and Quinnipiac 68. That'll do it. Folks, thanks for watching. Remember to stay with us on February 7th, Saturday for a doubleheader at Holy Cross, the Crusaders entertaining the Red Raiders. For Ernie Floyd and Phil Robo and everyone here at WGMC, thanks for watching, folks. So long, and remember to stay tuned for Newswatch 3.